Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So earlier today I started a new / old set of series for several reasons. So in this video I'm going to explain exactly why I'm doing it, what I hope to kind of get out of it and what's the end game there, and also establish some rules. Now the series itself will be me re-exploring all of Act 6. I'm not saying that I'm going to be rushing through it, stuff like that, but I do plan on making all the way through from 6.11 to 6.46. It obviously will take some time because it is not going to be the top priority kind of streams. If new content comes out, that's what I'm going to stream. If I need to get my points in arena in mornings, that's what I'm going to stream. But as and when and where I can, I will be trying to redo all of Act 6, just like I started earlier today. The reason for that is, well, there are multiple reasons for it. Ultimately, number one, a ton of my subscribers have been asking for updated guides because the guides from Act 6 were all pretty much created when Act 6 came out. Since then, we have had a ton of champions buffed, we have a ton of new champions released, which is going to be exactly what I'm trying to focus on primarily, in terms of which champions I'm going to be using. I'm going to be trying to avoid using any champions I used in the past clearing Act 6. So it means no Quakes, no Ghosts, no Archangels, ideally, so on and so forth. We're going to be trying to rely on newly buffed champions and just newly released champions. The reason number two is obviously Act 6 got nerfed, got changed. 6.1 got actually slightly trickier in terms of health pulls and attack values, but rest of Act 6 kind of got tuned down pretty much. 6.3 and 6.4 get noticeably lower health pulls, so I do want to check out how does it feel now. The reason number three, perhaps most important reason, is I have seen more and more posts pop up like this, and without trying to sound nasty or mean or anything like that, we can see that we have a player who has a 6-star rank for Hercules, and then a whole bunch of other 6-star rank 3s like Doom, Kitty Pryde, Red Magneto, Apoc, Archangel. Basically, you know, everything and anything you might need to explore Act 6. But at the same time, there are still people who find it difficult. And today, in my very first stream, I already got reminded exactly why, because it didn't go stellar, where I just walked in, brought in random champions, and I could clear everything. Because Act 6 is built different, whether we like to admit it or not. And I do know that there's a lot of the old school kind of snobby people around, is like, who, as soon as somebody mentions Act 6 today, goes like, back in my day, Act 6 was much harder. Yes, that is true. However, at the same point, the game has changed drastically, and Act 6 right now is catching people in it due to the fact that every fight has different nodes, and unless you check exactly which path you're doing and figure out exactly counters, then, you know, you can easily get stuck. Like in today's stream in itself, it was very easy for me to overlook some interactions. For instance, I thought it would be very cool to bring in Stealth Suit Spidey in 6.11 if I used him with Scorpion Synergy, but obviously that interacted extremely poorly with no retreat node, and that plan automatically had to be abandoned, which is, again, just a nasty kind of interaction that's meant to catch you out there with a, you know, fairly annoying node. And then we obviously have stuff like random all or nothing champions along the way, where you need to make sure that you have access to some sort of taunt or power control. We have random, you know, do you bleed node that pops up in the middle of the lane. And Act 6 immediately reminded me that I have to be more cautious and pay more attention to what I'm doing. You see, with Act 6, Act 7, we have gotten kind of spoiled. Yes, the initial node descriptions are very daunting, and, you know, there's a lot of reading to be done, but as soon as you figure out how the node works or what the path is meant to be about, the entire path is exactly the same. Act 6 is completely different, though, because virtually every fight on the path has some different nodes. So, playing through it today, I actually kind of felt like I'm worse player today than I was when Act 6 came out, as a direct consequence of how this game has been releasing content and how, well, easy most of it has been, especially story content. So I think it's also going to be quite beneficial for me to remind me how the game used to be a couple years back. Because even with all the changes to it, still significantly more tricky, treacherous than Act 7 is. On top of that, as I said, we're also going to establish some rules, because some people suggested that I should only use 5-star champions. And I can understand why they would say that, but there is a problem. I don't rank up 5-star champions. My 5-star roster looks pretty much identical to how it looked like about 2 years ago or something like that. So there would be very little point of me trying to do Act 6 only using my 5-stars, completely ignoring my 6-stars. Because yeah, there's just not many, if any, new champions. Vast majority of them are old ones, and they are also the champions that I kind of said that I would avoid, like Ghost, like Quake, like Archangel, the so-called staples. The one thing that I will definitely avoid is using my 6-star rank 4s, because I do think that would be too much. I do think that would definitely be too much, so I will be avoiding using my 6-star rank 4s pretty much in any and all content, maybe with a couple of exceptions if I really do want to try out some interactions. So it means I'm not going to be using Kingpin or Mr. Negative or Dr. Doom. Well, I could use Dr. Doom because I can max out 5-star. I'm not going to be using Hercules or Kitty Pryde or Nimrod and stuff like that. So I'm going to be crossing off all my 6-star rank 4 champions, but other than that, I'm going to leave it as pretty much everything goes, for the exact reason I explained at the beginning. I want to use champions doing this that I didn't use before, because I know that those champions work already. I know that I can take in Quake and Quake half of the stuff. Problem is, a lot of people don't want to or like Quake or can't use Quake. I know that I can bring in Ghost and shred through half of it, and that would kind of defeat the purpose. So I'm going to be mainly focusing on champions that have been released within last 3 years, starting from 2020, and obviously all the champions that have been like buffed up, either by synergy or through buff program. And at the same time, as I said, avoid my rank 4s and avoid like CGR and Hercules and Kitty Pryde. So we're going to be trying to get through it all and find newer counters, more interesting counters, some cooler interactions. And besides that point, I can't address the roster criticism much better, nor that I think I should, especially considering posts like this. Like, I will be using 5-star rank 5s if I have some new champions I want to try out. I will be using 6-star rank 2s. I used some 6-star rank 1s even today as well, or 5-star rank 3s and 4s. But, you know, obviously, primarily, I will be looking at 6-star rank 2s and 3s for most of this stuff. But I don't think it is as much of a issue. Some people would like to make it, especially hearing that people with these rosters still are struggling. But the fact of the matter is, I can't unrank or unlevel my champions, nor am I willing to rank up my 5-stars just for this kind of like project. So if I have a ranked up, I don't know, Wiccan, you know, I'm going to be using that Wiccan. I'm not going to be ranking up my 5-star, even though it obviously does kind of get me some advantage. But at the same time, I think if you have a 5-star rank 5 Wiccan, or even a 5-star rank 4 Wiccan, and if you are really trying to push to Act 6, you can put on the biggest boost that you have, and the difference would not be as major as that would seem. So that's pretty much the goal. I'm going to be going through all of Act 6. As soon as I'm going to be done exploring fully a quest, I'm going to be doing kind of like a recap/guide video about 6.11, things that I reminded myself, like the better, cooler options that I found on top of the options that I recommend normally. Again, kind of easier paths, so on and so forth. So we're going to be redoing all of the guides at the same time, because that is the primary reason why I'm doing this, because everybody always kind of is asking for new and updated versions of these guides, because some of these are like 3 years old and plus. Yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about the idea. Let me know whether you have some specific suggestions or some points of interest in regards of this entire thing. And I guess wish me good luck, I suppose. And as I said, I'm not going to be putting these streams at the very top of my priority list, but I'm going to be trying to get through at a steady, decent pace. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. That will pretty much do for now. So hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the other good buttons. And, well, hope you catch one of my streams in near future. See ya.
proceed with. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the